Hello, family, and welcome back. Now listen, today is not gossip. Today is not vibes. Today is history in motion. Because while certain commentators were busy speculating, wish-casting, and confidently lying on television about whether Prince Harry would really show up, the Duke of Sussex did what he always does. He showed up. Breaking news. Prince Harry has arrived at the UK High Court for the group legal case against the Daily Mail publisher, Associated Newspapers Ltd. And before anyone could even finish typing their smug little "sources say" tweets, Chris Ship himself confirmed it, cameras front and back at London's High Court waiting for Harry's arrival. Not might arrive, not expected to, not sources close to the situation. Arrived. Past tense reality. And suddenly, the same media ecosystem that spent weeks downplaying this case is now scrambling like toddlers who just realized the grown-up actually came back into the room. Now let's slow this down, because context matters, and the UK media hates context, almost as much as it hates accountability. This case is not about hurt feelings. It's not about Harry being sensitive. It's not about revenge. This is a group legal action against Associated Newspapers Ltd., the publisher of the Daily Mail, over alleged unlawful information gathering. We're talking about voicemail interception, we're talking about blagging, we're talking about private investigators, we're talking about systematic abuse of power by a media organization that has spent decades insisting it's the victim every time someone dares to say, "Prove it." And Prince Harry is not alone in this case. That's important. This isn't a solo crusade. This is a group action involving multiple high-profile individuals saying the same thing. You broke the law, you invaded our privacy, and now we're done pretending it didn't happen. And the reason Harry's presence today matters so much, because he didn't need to be there. Let me repeat that for the people in the back row with the bad faith arguments. He did not need to physically attend. This is not a requirement. This is not a photo op. This is not about optics in the way the tabloids like to pretend everything is. This is about principle. Prince Harry showing up to the High Court is a statement. It's him saying, I'm not outsourcing this. I'm not hiding behind lawyers. I'm not doing this quietly so you can spin it later. He came to look the institution that harmed him and continues to harm others directly in the eye. And let's talk about the delicious irony for a second, because it deserves its own moment. For years, the same newspapers involved in this case have screamed, "Why won't Harry come back to the UK? He's abandoned his country. He's hiding in California." And now that he's back, now that he's literally standing on British soil, they're panicking, because he didn't come back to cut ribbons, he didn't come back for photo ops, he didn't come back to play royal dress-up, he came back to court. And that's why the cameras were front and back, that's why the press were camped out, that's why Chris Ship's tweet matters, because the media knew this wasn't just another hearing, this is a reckoning. Now, let's address the predictable nonsense that's already starting to creep in, because you can practically hear the opinion columns being typed through clenched teeth. They're going to say, he loves the attention, he's courting publicity, he's making it all about himself. And that argument collapses the moment you remember one simple fact. The media put the cameras there. Prince Harry didn't invite them. He didn't alert the press. He didn't leak his arrival. The press showed up because they know this case threatens something they hold sacred, unchecked power. And that's what this is really about. This lawsuit isn't just about Harry. It's about a media system that has operated for decades on the assumption that it will never be meaningfully challenged. That if they wait long enough, people will move on. That if they mock hard enough, people will back down. That if they cry free speech loud enough, the law will politely look away. Harry said no. And here's where it gets even more uncomfortable for them. Prince Harry is uniquely positioned to do this in a way very few people can. He has resources, he has visibility, he has global attention, and instead of using that power to protect the institution that harmed him, he's using it to challenge the institution that harmed him. That's why they hate him. Not because he complains, not because he talks too much, not because he married Meghan. They hate him because he broke the most important rule of the British establishment: never expose the system. And today, walking into the High Court, he did it again. Now, let's talk about the silence, because that silence is loud. Notice how certain commentators who had plenty to say last week are suddenly very careful with their wording. Notice how the certainty evaporated overnight. Notice how phrases like allegedly, reportedly, and it remains to be seen are suddenly everywhere. Because speculation is easy when the subject stays quiet. It's harder when he shows up. And make no mistake, Harry showing up undermines weeks of media narrative building. They said he might not come, they implied he was afraid, they suggested he'd settle quietly. Instead, he walked through the front door of the High Court while cameras clicked from every angle. That's not fear, that's resolve. And if you're wondering why this moment feels different, it's because it is. This isn't Harry reacting, this is Harry initiating. He's not defending himself in the press, he's not issuing statements, he's not clapping back on social media. He's letting the legal process do what the media never wanted: examine evidence. Now, let's talk about the broader implications, because this goes way beyond one case. If Associated Newspapers Limited is found liable, or even significantly challenged, it cracks the armor of tabloid invincibility. It tells other victims, you're not crazy. It tells journalists, the law still applies to you. And it tells powerful media executives that the era of consequence-free intrusion is ending. That's why this matters. And that's why Prince Harry's presence today is not symbolic fluff, it's strategic. Also, quick side note, because we need to address the elephant the tabloids keep pretending isn't in the room. Prince Harry has been consistent. He has been saying the same thing for years: that the press played a role in his mother's death, that the press abused its power, that the press hasn't truly changed. And instead of disproving him, they've spent years proving his point, mocking him, attacking his wife, targeting his children, weaponizing leaks, and then acting shocked when he says enough. Today wasn't about drama, it was about boundaries. And the fact that the cameras were front and back tells you exactly who was nervous. Because when someone finally stops talking and starts taking you to court, that's when the real panic sets in. So as this case unfolds, expect noise, expect deflection, expect suddenly sympathetic think pieces about press pressure. Expect the same people who screamed, "Why won't he shut up?" to now ask, "Why won't he go away?" But here's the problem for them. He's not going away, and he's not backing down. Prince Harry didn't just arrive at the High Court today, he arrived with a message. You don't get to rewrite history when the evidence still exists. And whether the tabloids like it or not, today marks another moment where the narrative slipped out of their control. Because accountability doesn't care about headlines, and the law doesn't care about vibes. Thank you for watching, and I will keep you all updated. Stay safe, and let's pray for Prince Harry.